Hello. For Christmas 2018, I decided to make a number of mechanical pencils to give away to some friends of mine. These are the Slimline pencil kits from PSI. Most of them will use acrylic blanks, but a couple will use wood. After cutting the blanks to length, I have to drill a hole down the middle of each one. This hole is for a brass tube that will be glued in. Here are all the blanks that have been drilled. And here they are after the brass tubes have been glued in using a 2-part epoxy. After allowing the epoxy to cure, the ends of the barrel blanks need to be trimmed and squared. When cutting the barrel blanks, you add about 1/8 inch to the length in order to allow for this trimming. The trimming is done with a special purpose tool called a barrel trimmer that cleans excess glue from the inside of the brass tube and cuts the end of the blank so that it's square to the tube. Care needs to be taken to not trim down the brass tube itself. You want to just barely touch it with the trimmer. And now the turning process begins. The blanks are mounted on a mandrel that has guide bushings on either end of the barrel blanks, and in between them if there's 2 barrels. These bushings represent the diameter of the hardware that will later be pressed on to make up the pen. The idea is to turn the blanks material down to meet these bearings. Sometimes you just turn the blanks straight between them. But in this case, I'm going to be turning a sort of teardrop shape into each barrel for a more interesting look. After I have the barrels shaped the way I want, the next step is to sand. I'll start sanding with dry paper using 150 grit, mostly just to get the tool marks out of the acrylic. I'll follow that up with a 220 grit. After the dry sanding is complete, I'll start wet sanding using 320, then 400, then 600 grit paper. At this point, we're really polishing the plastic. After I've got the 600 grit paper done, I'll start using sanding pads. They start at 600 grit, but go all the way up through 12,000 grit. By the time you get to that 12,000 grit, you should have a fairly good polish on the acrylic. Finally, I'll use an actual polishing compound to get a high gloss luster on the barrels. And now the last step is to attach the hardware to the barrels. The hardware is pressed into the brass tubes that are inside the barrels, and I'm using my drill press with a wooden plunger fit into the chuck to do the pressing.